Hello, Harry.
Hello, Sebastian. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Yes, doing well, thanks. It is grey in the UK, but it feels very warm still. This summer's like coming now, so it's quite nice.
Yeah, you have the t-shirt on, so summer has to come, you know?
Nice. Um, yeah, for those who don't know, welcome to Harry and Seb Talks. This is our weekly YouTube podcast, or sometimes bi-weekly YouTube podcast, where we talk about everything that's going on in terms of entrepreneurship. That's our new topic. So for those of you who do regularly listen, we've made the decision about 10 minutes ago, if I'm really honest with you, about what we want to do for this show. And moving forward, the goal now is to start talking more in terms of entrepreneurship. So rather than just about agency stuff, rather than just about what's going on in our businesses, we want to talk about like some of the stuff that has helped us, like personally as well, like life hacks, how to build a business, stuff that we see around the world, any news, interesting news articles, stuff like that. Today, Sebastian is going to tell you quickly the definition between two topics that we want to talk about over the next two episodes, and also which one we're going to be doing next. So over to you.
Yeah, the topic that I came up a bit earlier because last week I started to do some intensive research and it was quite frustrating, but for that more, about employee engagement and employee development. So what is the difference? There's a difference. Employee development, as the name says, so to develop your employee, so the career for your employees. What is the goal of your employee in your company, or maybe also outside of your company? How does your employee wants to develop in terms of career? What does they need to learn or want to learn? What do they want to gain? What skills do they want to accomplish? Could be several things also related to the business goals. And then you have employee engagement. So that is more like, how do you keep your employees engaged? They are there maybe since 5 years at one point. Of course, when you're an entrepreneur, you are happy when they stay for 1 month. But at one point, you have them maybe for 6 months or for 1 year. So how to keep your employees engaged. I think this is really important, especially for my agency. It's like this. I want to keep the knowledge in the company. So for me, would be a big loss when an employee leaves the company, because that means I have to build up the knowledge again and again. So of course, I want to keep my employees, and that's why we need to engage them somehow, that they are happy and they like to come here.
This is in terms of like training them, right? So getting them used to your processes, how you deal with clients, and just to reiterate on what you're saying about having to retrain someone, right?
Yes, it works. I mean, engagement and development works really close together. So that's the topic we are talking today about, employee engagement.
Nice. Thanks, man, for that lovely intro.
You're welcome.
Engaging employees in your company. Obviously, I can come from a remote perspective, and you can come from a more physical perspective, because your employees work with you in a building. Mine work with me online.
Most of them. Not all of them. We have 2 employees that work remotely. And yeah, there is a challenge, as you said. I don't know. You want to start how you do it, or?
Well, I can start on the lighter part, which is building, because keeping your employees engaged, I think, as well as that, is like building team cooperability, like being able to work together better as a team. And in a remote environment, when I haven't got Bill sat next to me on his computer and I can just prod him and annoy him and go to get some water, have the water cooler conversation and just have a glass of water and have a chat with him. Yeah. Nowadays it's much harder to have that like interoperability between each teammate. So something that we do now on a Monday and a Friday is we use FigJam. We open up FigJam and we use the games that they have in there. So we've done some quite fun ones. On Monday, we did one where you had to describe an item that you would, I completely forget what it was, something along the lines of something interesting. But the one I can tell you that was really fun that I wanted to start with was the first one we ever did, which was when we got given a word, we had to draw an item that was associated with it. So, for example, what things that you would find under your bed, Sebastian, or viewers as well, things you would find under your bed. And then you were given a minute to sketch that. So one of the guys sketched a monster, because you can find monsters under your bed. Nice. somebody sketched a smelly sock, because you can find smelly socks under your bed. But the one thing I noticed straight away was that everybody was laughing. We were all like enjoying it. The sort of like seriousness of work drops down, and instead we were all just like a little bit, ourselves, like kids, really.
I think your stress level reduced.
Exactly that. And we do it before the meeting begins, so that we're in that mindset when we then go into the meeting. So we just feel a little bit happy. So like, that's really good fun. And I would say that's the one thing that we've done so far on a Monday and a Friday that just changes the game.
Just to ask, so it's done in Figma, I guess. So everybody needs an account in Figma, or you can just share it. I mean, can you just take the link and share it with the other guys, and then they can join? They don't need an account, or how does it work?
So you just need to be signed in, I believe. But once you're signed in, you can use the whiteboard. Figma allows you to move like a file into the project section. I'm getting very technical now. I won't get too itty bitty about it, but you just send the link into Slack. That's what we do every Friday. They come in. There's a really cool app in FigJam called Donut, where it has creative warm-ups and icebreakers inside it. Because everybody's logged in as well, it has their names in the app, and then it will tell you whose turn it is next, which is really good fun because it helps with like the logistics of managing it. I can very much, yeah.
1 second. So now you should
give me the permission.
Because I'm curious now. Now you're
sure. So here we have
this donut is already in it, or you need to install it.
I will show you. So first of all, here are some of the lovely sketches that the team put together last time. And then as well as that, I remembered what it was now. You had to describe different things you could do with a hair clip. So I put to pinch your nose when there's a gross smell. Amy put poke your eye out, or poke someone's eye out. We were all laughing because she said a walking stick for an ant. If you can imagine a hair clip for an ant, it's huge in comparison.
Yeah, but it's really creative. Wow, he put a lot here.
Leo went off the bloody chart. So he said you could use a hair clip as a wishbone when you snap the wishbone for good luck. It's a bone in the chicken that you snap for good luck. And he was saying we could use that as a wishbone, a flower picker, a cupcake cutter. So you can imagine when we were doing this, and they all went off to their separate parts of the whiteboard, to the top right, to the top left, down below, so nobody could see. When we all came together, it was really funny. All chatting about it. The app itself is Donut. And you can just go down here to the widgets and then type in donuts, and it'll come up, the creative warm-ups. As you can see here, we had our game, but they have loads and loads of options. So I think like it is a great way to build some like icebreakers into your team. I'm even tempted now to use this app for when we bring clients in for their initial discovery session before we start the meeting.
There's a short introduction. Okay, understood. Mm-hmm.
So before we start the meeting, we can do a quick game with them, just to like, again, break down those barriers and make everybody, feel a bit easier to talk to each other, etc. So yeah, I would highly recommend it for anybody who wants to engage or build some more like team stuff into their company. I don't even know what you would call it. I guess more engagement, but more like team building skills as well.
Nice.
You should give it a go. Definitely.
Awesome. Really, really nice. I mean, this is really cool. And I think especially when you are working in a creative environment like your agency or also a digital marketing agency, I think it's important to to get out of your box that you are in and to think about other things. And even if you are stuck at a problem and then you do this, I think that's really helpful.
I agree. And it not only helps with that, but like, for example, Leo and Amy, my two employees, they don't really interact with each other a lot on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
When you're growing your business, you'll find that you have people in one department, people in another, but they don't really talk to each other. And I think like doing a session like this really helps with getting them to start talking to each other and build some familiarity, especially from a remote environment, because remote, you don't really talk to your coworkers that much, in comparison to physical.
I fully agree. And it's especially for remote. I mean, you need to keep them somehow engaged. In the office, I find it a bit easier.
Yep.
But still, remotely, also I have to include my two other employees. They are remotely to include them somehow with the team here, so that they don't feel like outsiders, This is really important. So what we did, for example, 2 weeks ago, we went to a climbing garden.
So nice.
So of course the people had to come here because it was something physical, but then we went in the climbing garden, had two teams. One team was doing the blue trail and the other team was doing the red trail. And after that we switched. I mean, the blue team went to the red trail and me and another colleague, we did the black trail, which was the hardest part, was really challenging. And you had to work as a team together to guide them, to tell them what to do. So that was like really nice. And after that, we had some lunch and we went home. So, I mean, something to do together. I think this is really important.
Sure. And how did it? So when you guys went and did that as a leader, are you trying to like stay serious, or are you trying to like be friendly? Like, what's Sebastian like when he's with his team on an outdoor event like that?
I'm starting to say myself, I'm authentic, so I don't try. I'm a bit goofy, So I'm like this. I'm like a normal person, so I don't try to stay serious because it's also lots of fun for me. And I was even doing some social media posts. I mean, some stories on Instagram for our company and so on. So no,
that's so nice.
Also fun.
So it's important then, I guess, like for anybody who wants to do something similar, like try to be yourself when you're at these events rather than in work mode.
Yeah, and I think what is an important rule, I think it's good to have friends, but what I've learned so far, don't get too close.
Sure. That makes sense. So
to keep the distance, also to respect each other. I think it has also to do with respect, and only an advice.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because I feel like if you become too friendly with an employee, sometimes you could then just very easily start messaging them on the weekend about work, and that's like really toxic behavior, right?
We do this in the group. I mean, this is really what we are doing. In the group, we communicate and we write with each other. So, but not mainly about work. Maybe things that are related to work, like online marketing, some changes, what to do. I shared a video on YouTube, horse sourcing. It's a funny video where they were like making fun of you don't want to answer your emails, so you can horse sourcing it to Iceland. So you had a big keyboard where Iceland horses were stepping on the keyboard and were writing emails. Yeah, really funny.
Bonkers. I think I need to watch it. You're gonna have to give me the link, I think.
I will. What I also wanted to tell, because how did I come up with this topic? So I did employee development plans, quite a lot. I mean, for every employee one. And then I'm still doing this with a Word document. So I was like, oh, is there not something else, a software or something? And then I was looking up employee engagement, employee development software tools. And there are a lot out. Some, from my point of good, some are not so good. But these that I really liked, I mean, that were really like, because I wanted to have 360-degree assessment for employees, not only like one-to-one meeting and an how's it called, net promoter score, like to ask them, how do you find the company and so on. All of these really good ones they had always like a minimum contract fee, like you need to have 20 employees or minimum 4,000 euros per month per
Bloody
year.
hell.
Yes, and I was really frustrating because I don't understand. They have great tools, and maybe they are not so. Maybe this is also an indicator why there's so small companies not doing so much employee development and engagement. I think it is really important. If you want to grow, you need to get your people engaged. You need to keep the knowledge in the company. And I didn't understand why they didn't have this in the software. So I found a nice tool. Is called Office Vibe, and they have like a free version which has already some things in it. Like you have a pulse survey. That means like you got like a heartbeat. You measure the pulse of the team, where you can ask them a feedback one. So where you can give each other feedback, a one-to-one. You can put the company goals there. You have some reports. It integrates already in Slack and Teams. And this is for free. So this is what I'm trying to do now. And another one, but this is not so much on the
Sorry, so just to go back to that one.
Yep.
It allows you to do like pulse checks, so they can like how they're feeling that week, right? Like it's like a little chat mark just for people who are listening and maybe a bit more interested in what that actually means.
We had this when I was working at Deutsche Telekom. So you will measure the pulse of the company. So you were asking them some questions. At Telecom, it was like, how likely you are recommend your products to your colleagues and friends or relatives. So that
nice.
Because they have phones and other things. And how happy are you at the company? How is your stress level and things like this. So the idea was to get an overall indicator how your employees feel, loyal to your company, how do they feel about the workload that they have currently, and how do they see the future in this company. So this is like a pulse survey where you can interview them and you get a good value. And then of course, when you ask them every quarter, for example, you have something that you can compare.
Nice.
And it's anonymous. So
nice.
If somebody makes a comment there, it's anonymous. I mean, if you have 5 people and someone writes, I don't like the coffee machine because it doesn't give me the coffee I want, and you have only 2 drinkers, you and the other one, then you know who wrote it. But I mean,
it's handy though, right? Because like you can immediately start to feel the sentiment of how your company is going and how the team are feeling. Because sometimes I feel like business owners, we're looking at the end goal and we're like looking ahead a lot of the time with like vision of the company and stuff like that. And sometimes we aren't aware of how people are feeling in the company, especially when you're running a company of like 60 people, right? That's really hard to be able to go and see each one individually every single day. We only have so many hours in the day. So that pulse check sounds really cool because it can give you a very quick overview of like where there are problems and then very quickly understand like, all right, this is a problem. So now we need to fix it. But it brings that awareness, right, straight away.
Yeah, exactly. And this Office Vibe, I will probably start with this, even if it doesn't have this 360-degree assessment, which I would like to have. So that means like you give a full assessment on an employee and you know, or he knows where he is and where he wants to develop.
Yeah.
And this the tool doesn't have. But I would say let's have small steps, implement something. And if we are then 20 employees, then I can go maybe to the other version, a bigger version, or maybe Office Vibe will introduce this in their software. So I can give you feedback how this will be. And but it was really hard. I think I did research over an hour for some tools, and then was really frustrating. You write to them because there were no prices, and then they tell you, but sorry, you need at least 20 employees, or I don't know, $4,000 per year.
Wow. Okay. I'm busy for that right now. Thanks.
Cool. Another thing that just came to my mind when I was thinking about this engagement thing, it's also sometimes really engaging for employees when you get a big client and they are really excited because they have products of this client, or they have a hobby in this area, or maybe it's also something really challenging, like It's what did Daniel do? He did, for example, for a car, like an entire sticker for the car. I don't know how you call it.
Yeah. Just generally a car sticker, I think, like
Yeah, a
a
car sticker,
vinyl. So yeah.
which was for him on one side was really challenging, but on the other side it was something totally new for him. He have never done this, so that was something really cool. Or like we did
Rewarding.
for yeah, for real estate, we did, for example, some banners outside, and you have to think he was working on this big banners in Photoshop, which was huge, like 10 meters or even more. And then
Wow.
the customer send a photo how it looks. So cars are passing by and you see the banner that Danielle designed. This is like
Oh, what a
amazing, you know?
feeling. What a feeling that must be. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
This is also something I think that is really, really engaging for employees. I
Hmm.
mean, projects, clients. Then we have the quarterly meetings, what we also have like games, what you have, and discuss things. So I think they need to have a good mood when they come to the office. They shouldn't feel like, oh, I have to come to the office. They should be happy to come to the office and enjoy the time here in the office, not like to come there and have to do things that they don't like. This
Sure.
is a shitty environment for them.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I totally agree with that. One that I have written down that I wanted to add was the magic away day. So you talk about doing like physical activities in person, which is cool on the weekends and stuff. I've seen a big trend of remote companies where we have the magic away day or away week or away month
Can
where
you elaborate more on this? What does this mean?
Sure. So like the whole team from every part of the world that they're in, they all fly to this one location, usually paid for by the company. And they stay in like a villa or something like that in like Bali or somewhere else. And they will work there for 2 weeks. So actually, Janusz, the agency coach that we both know, told me about how one company did it, where they would have team A and they would have team B. So it'd split the company into team A would go to the away day mansion in Bali for 1 week. And then team B would go to the away day mansion for 1 week. Now, whilst the team are there for that whole week, they're still working, but they're working with their toes in the pool. They're getting everything cooked for them. The entire place is being cleaned for them. They are drinking a beer whilst doing a little bit of work, and they're generally having half days and stuff like that. And not only does it allow the team to come together and meet each other, because in a remote setting sometimes you won't actually meet that person in 6 to I mean, I haven't met you yet, Seb, and we've known each other for a year and a half now. So it just goes to show, right? But as well as that, it's something to look forward to every year. It's kind of like, this is what we're working towards, in some sense. We're working towards having that really sick week away, which I think keeps people engaged because they look forward to that event every year.
If it works, you have also to think of employees that have children or have to take off their grandmother and so on. So I think for some it might work, but not for everybody. So we are still old school. So we just go for 4 days somewhere and we rent like a cottage, we go hiking and so on. But yeah, that sounds really cool, this away day. I was first thinking maybe it's like the CEO goes away for one day and everybody can do what they want.
Party. They all party.
Yeah.
But how like transformative is that 4-day trip for you guys? Like how good is that for your team to be able to do that?
I mean, I when we started the agency in 2015, end of 2015, I was hoping at one point we can do this. From financial point of view, that wasn't possible. So for us was always the Christmas party, like something, whoa, cool. And we went out. But Alexander and I had always planned we want to do this. And then COVID came. So that was canceled, or we couldn't do this. And then last year we decided finally to do it the first time. Was a huge success. Everybody was really like happy. We had good discussions. We were able to go on some topics much deeper. So for me, this entire thing is like, for me, essential that we do this at least once per year. And this year we wanted to have it not rainy, because last time it rained a lot and we couldn't do much, so we stayed in the house. So this time we hopefully will have sunshine, because it's going next week out. There's a free day in Romania, so we said, hey, let's continue with the weekend. So we will be 4 days, because last time we were only 3 days, and we said, hey, it's 1 day too less.
Yeah,
So
nice.
4 days, because we weren't able to do some activity. So we also plan a big hike that we want to do with the team. And now Alexandra and I have still to prepare some things. Also, the other employees will have some things that they can present them when we are there. And they get to know each other much better, especially the guys that are remotely. So they don't communicate and know them so much. So it's really good to interact with them. And in these events, really cool new ideas come up, or maybe you find really nice things how to optimize or to make things more efficient,
Even to learn things about your employees that you don't know, right? That can then help.
Or maybe some you don't want to know.
Yeah, or that you don't want to know. Yeah, especially when the beers come out, I can imagine. Oh, crikey. But yeah, like I get that, like the developing them as well, in terms of like helping them grow. If you can find out something that wouldn't usually come up in a meeting, I think these more informal settings really help.
They also open up more, of course. I mean, you also open up more and discuss maybe also more private things, which is also good to know with whom you are dealing. And I think it's in general, it's for both or for everybody, it's like a big win.
Nice. I think the last one I wanted to share today is something that's quite close to me, but it was an idea that actually came from one of my employees, Leo. And he suggested, because he's quite into meditation, he said every time he would go to these retreats, which are where you go to do meditation for 4 to 8 hours every day, you can do what's called serving. So you can work there, look after all the other people who are meditating, and you're in the leadership team of that retreat. So Leo was part of the leadership team. And as part of that, before every meeting, they would do a 2-minute meditation before they went into the meeting. And I've actually got a little something to show here on the camera, which is
I have this, yes,
a little singing bowl, which allows you to do well. It's a little chime, but it ceremonially starts the meditation. So at the beginning of every meeting, I always forget. So Leo goes, "Can we do our 2-minute meditation?" And we do two minutes of mindfulness before the meeting, and then usually everybody comes in quite relaxed to the meeting. So I thought what would be a fun thing, just an idea I had to finish off the podcast today, is whether you and the viewers, Seb, would like to do a 1 minute, just 60 seconds meditation to finish it off.
Minutes on the video.
Yes, exactly that.
Let me just add a really, really nice idea. And I also, funny thing, I also did this with my guys. I went out with them on the balcony, and I'm doing breathing exercise in the morning. So I did some breathing with them, and after that he was like, "Oh, I'm too much calm now." They were really surprised. And I'm even thinking, I told you I'm doing a lot of yoga. So this morning I did again 45 minutes yoga. So I would like to go with the team on a yoga retreat, but I don't know if everybody would be involved like this, because I think this mindfulness helps a lot in general to deal with,
I agree,
really stressful situation. Now it's your stage.
Okay. Everybody ready? Whoever's listening, as well as you, Seb. So we'll just do 60 seconds. Close your eyes. Try and empty your mind. Don't have any thoughts.
Let me make the timer on.
Sebastian will time it. I will hit the singing bowl. You'll hear the ring, hopefully through the mic. And then we just close your eyes and let whatever happens happen for 60 seconds. And then Sebastian will bring us back. Okay, off we go. Yeah.
I was just laughing a bit because I was thinking, what were they doing when they watched this video and see us closing our eyes? But
I love it.
I think it's a really good practice, and even this 1 minute felt like already like eternity.
Calmer.
I mean, eternity on one side and also calming. So if you don't got anything out of the session, maybe you take this 1 or 2 minute meditation out of the session today.
Exactly that. Yeah, I would love to thank everybody who's joined us today. This has been Harry and Seb Talks. You can find more about Sebastian from RE7 Consulting at RE7 Consulting on Instagram, re7consulting.com. And as well as that, you can find Seb on LinkedIn as well. If you'd like to find out more about me, you can type in Harry Roper on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and Imaginary Space on TikTok as well. Apart from that, that's been the show for this week. If you have any ideas or anything you'd like us to talk about, please feel free to put those in the comments below, and we'll definitely try and make sure that we discuss it in the show next time. But apart from that, yeah, thanks, Seb. It's been a good one.
Yeah, next topic will be employee development. So if you have some ideas or you have some questions regarding this, or even this engagement round that we had today, also you have some great tools that you are using for your startup that you don't need to pay so much money, just post them in our comments, and happy to see you in our next session.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Seb.
Bye-bye.